Hello, my name is Rebecca Martinez and I'm a new student in this class. So, for the first question, my own experiences reading as a child, I would have to say that probably besides the teachers at school who would teach me about reading, there was really nobody else in my home to really teach me how to read. So, I would just be curious about books and I would just take pleasure in reading whatever I felt like or wanted, because books were pretty much the only thing I had, because, I didn't have the best home life, so reading was pretty much my escape from a lot of things. Probably I can't even remember the first book I ever read, honestly, but first place I ever read was pretty much my kindergarten classroom, because I never went to preschool. Let's see, the value of reading aloud to children. I think there's a lot of value to reading aloud to children because it can help expand their both their hearing and their vocabulary, considering that they can hear you better, and then they can also, start learning to read your lips and hearing what you're saying, so that they can also try and copy what you're saying, because young children are usually very influential and very impressionable, so they'll usually try to copy a lot of things that grown-ups do and or say. And also too, I think there's a lot of value when it comes to illustrated picture books, especially for young children, because it helps them get an image of what the story is trying to project, and also that they can come up with their own images and their own imaginations, which can help when it comes to English and writing, and also the benefits of problem solving as well, because they're learning it from these illustrated books. The historical origin, I think, is really detrimental, because there's a lot of history when it comes to books. So what you have to think about is that, okay, these books are from, let's just say, the 1800s, and so these books can tell a lot about the history back then, and reading through these, we can actually get an imaginative point of view of what it was like during the 1800s, since obviously we weren't born during then. And then when it comes to the domestic origins, I would have to say that it would just really depend on your own definition of domestic, but also too, I do have to say the point of view of, usually old time housewives and them writing books and everything, or journals, and basically like an old autobiography, but autobiographies weren't a thing back then, obviously, either. It can be very eye-opening, I think. And then the specific and symbolic origins, I think they display a particular message and or image in the books, so that they're getting across what they're trying to say and or tell through those pictures and or words. And then you kind of get an idea of, okay, this must have been how it was for them back then. But then also too, you kind of also get an idea of what other people's perspectives were during that time as well, whether it be good or bad. The nursery rhymes, they played a pretty big part in my childhood, because, well, you can't really call it childhood, but, what was so great about them is that they helped my memory skills, so I would always be humming it, singing it, memorizing them, and just opening up my vocabulary to those words and or sounds that came from the nursery rhymes. I'm taking this course to satisfy the requirement for both a teaching degree and an English degree, so I'm kind of going for 2 degrees at the same time. Yeah. Decade. Other than that, though, I hope that everyone has a good time in this class because I certainly am already.